for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of Expedition to a New Moon. We find Taurus, Crystal, Scott, and Professor Mace aboard the Evening Star, discussing plans for colonizing a new moon.
But, Father, what's so unusual about a new moon?
This moon resembles our Earth so much, we think it may have an atmosphere.
And if it has an atmosphere, it can be colonized.
Aye, we can use a little more productive land in this solar system. Precisely why you're going there, Taurus. We need a complete survey.
Then we'll have to make a geological survey as well.
Right. Your ship is outfitted with all the necessary equipment.
Of course, Chris. We'll be taking the new survey ship.
Scott, have you had a chance to look over the new ship since your return?
Not yet, Professor. We better go down and check it out now.
Good. It's being outfitted in Tube 3. The Chief expects you to blast off at 6:03 a.m. Earth time.
Aye, we'd no sooner than get back to home base, and here we go again.
Now, Taurus. Father has just explained that the target is approaching orbital position for blastoff.
Otherwise, we'll have to delay the project for another year.
Notify the Chief. We'll make the deadline, Professor.
Come on, gang. Let's get going.
You and Taurus tested the surveyor, didn't you, Scott?
Yes, Crystal. But the instrumentation wasn't complete at the time. We still have a lot of equipment to check out. There she is. That's going to be our home for a while. How do you like the Surveyor, Chris?
It's a beautiful ship.
And it's probably the most completely equipped survey ship ever built, with all the equipment necessary to do a geological survey. The control section can be ejected and act as a landing sphere.
I'd feel more at home in the Starduster. This ship is too slow.
Taurus, this is a survey mission, not a space race.
There goes our moonmobile aboard. It's built to travel over any kind of terrain. It's going to come in real handy.
Aye, Skipper. I'm glad they remembered spacemen are allergic to walking. Ha ha ha!
Okay, gang, let's get aboard and check this baby out. Got to be ready for blastoff at 0600 in the morning.
Now hear this. Clear the tube for blastoff.
Reactors, go.
Umbilical, go.
Cabin pressure, go.
Tube doors opening.
Ready and counting. 10, 9.
Angle of blastoff 320, vector 4.
Correcting angle. Trajectory angle, go.
Increasing power. OS 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trajectory good, approaching target velocity.
Count it.
Roger. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shut off. A-OK, we're in free flight.
Oh, this baby's got a kick like a mule.
What's the matter, Taurus? Can't you take it anymore?
There is more pounds of me to be pressed than there is of you, lass.
That's for sure.
Check the course, Chris.
Right on target, Scott. 2 points off the twin star mirror.
Right. And our flight plan velocity should get us there in 12 space periods.
So we may as well relax and enjoy the scenery.
Except for one thing, Taurus. We'll be getting into an uncharted area. Turn on your forward viewer and keep a sharp lookout.
Okay, Skipper.
There it is. Take a look in your viewer.
Mirror, the red giant.
Look at the size of those suns, Skipper.
If we took our solar system and placed our sun in the middle of that red star, Mars would barely touch the surface.
That's big.
Scott, center focus 20 degrees east and south. There's our moon.
He's sure coming up fast, Skipper.
Yes, we're intercepting its orbit head-on. Prepare to reduce speed.
Aye, Skipper. DX tubes ready for firing, sir.
Give us a gravity count, Chris.
0.1, 0.2, 3, 4, 5.
Deflect 2 degrees out. Fire 3.
Stand by. I'm placing this baby into orbit.
We're in orbit, Scott.
Taurus, prepare the landing sphere.
Aye, Skipper.
We're going to take a trip downstairs.
There doesn't appear to be any atmosphere, Scott.
We'll soon find out, Chris.
Sure not gonna go without our space helmets.
Hate to mention it, Skipper, but who's going to watch the store?
We can control the surveyor by remote control. When we land, we'll set up a station. That'll be our home base for a while. We'll land this big baby after we prepare a pad.
Just thought I'd ask.
$80,000 feet and dropping fast.
Stand by retro rockets, Taurus.
Aye, lad.
This is strange, Scott. The gravity indicator keeps switching. Now it's negative. There it goes again.
Reading.
Well, now it's just about double Earth's gravity.
So how do you make a landing, Skipper? We may begin hopping like a jackrabbit in another minute.
40,000.
Fire retros. Must be gravity strips. Let's pick one and try it.
Aye, Skipper.
Scott! We're falling!
Pretty fast, Skipper.
Phew!
Good work, Skipper. That landing was much softer than I expected.
I share your sentiments. Now let's roll up the moon buggy and see what the climate's like outside. What's the oxygen indicator suggest, Taurus?
There's an atmosphere, lad, but we can't breathe it.
But if there's air,
It's frozen. See that funny-looking iceberg? There's your atmosphere.
That might just explain the crazy gravity on this moon.
How do you mean, Skipper?
At double Earth's gravity, the air must have been pulled down and formed into these glaciers. Notice how they appear in rows?
Well, now that you mention it.
Stand by. Something's pulling us over.
Well, are you all right?
I can't seem to move, Skipper. I feel so heavy.
it's hard to breathe, Scott.
We're caught in one of those gravity belts. If I can activate this engine again.
What's wrong, lad?
I can't reach it.
I think I can make it.
You're a bull.
I felt so heavy I couldn't even blink my eyes.
Clean living, Skipper.
Before we do much traveling, I suggest we set up our lunar station and land the surveyor.
Good idea, lad. This place is not too friendly, and I'd feel better if we had a home base to run to.
Taurus, you roll out the shelter dome while I find a good spot to set her up.
Okay, Skipper.
We better hurry, Scott. We haven't much daylight left.
You're right. Inside that creeping shadow, it's cold enough to freeze the atmosphere.
Where do you want it, Skipper?
Over there, Taurus.
Here she comes. Good catch, Skipper.
Okay. Everybody stand back.
Watch closely, lass, and you'll see how a king-sized igloo is hatched.
That should give us ample living quarters. Now let's attach the landing sphere and set up housekeeping. Well, now to test the equipment.
Go ahead, Skipper.
Everything seems to be in order. Let's see if we can pick up the surveyor. There. That should be it. Check it on the screen. Yep, that's her, all right.
She's holding a stable orbit. We'll bring her down in the morning, eh, Skipper?
Yes, but first we'll have to build a hard pad to land her on. Whoa. Lucky for us, we're not out there. The temperature's dropping 10 degrees a second.
Look out there. Did you ever see such a sight?
Aye, but we're as snug as bugs in here. And 'tis a beautiful sight to see.
Hey! What? Scott! What's that?
Those are rocks exploding from a sudden change in temperature.
Suffering Jupiter. This is something we didn't plan for.
Scott, we're losing air.
We've been hit. Our shielding's punctured. Quick, Taurus. Flip on our auxiliary compressor.
Aye, Skipper.
Give us the pressure reading, Chris.
8.5 pounds and dropping.
Pressure suits, lad?
No time. We'll never make it.
Pressure at 6.3, Scott.
This is it, Skipper?
Now what's the reading, Chris?
It's still holding at 6.3 pounds.
I don't get it.
Pressure at 8.5 pounds and rising.
Ever hear of an old-fashioned self-sealing inner tube, Taurus?
Well, if that isn't the blasted... Of course. This station's nothing but a flat inner tube. I'll be darned.
Of course, if we'd been hit by a really large fragment, I wouldn't have been so confident.
You dog. You could have told us. I was frantic.
How about you getting your father on the televiewer, Chris? He'll want to know what we found on this moon.
Yes, sir. Right away. Yes, Dad. And the atmosphere is frozen in strip.
Frozen atmosphere, eh? Scott, what happens when ice is heated?
It melts, then turns to steam, Professor.
Exactly. Now listen and listen carefully. You are going to try a little experiment.
Go ahead, Professor.
Basically, what we are going to attempt is utilize kinetic energy derived from the various gravity belts on your moon. This friction should generate continuous heat.
But, Professor, wouldn't that create a flood condition?
Possibly, if the heat generated were not hot enough. To ensure against this possibility, you are going to plant a thermonuclear activator within the depths of the moon.
Now.
All clear, Scott?
I've got you, Professor. We'll contact you later. Over.
Good luck. Out.
Well, let's get busy.
Following Professor Mace's instruction, they planted the magnetic electrodes at strategic points between the gravity belts.
How far from the next gravity belt, Taurus?
Almost there, Skipper. Okay, slow down. There it is. That should do it, lad. We've planted almost 200 of these magnetic electrodes.
All right, back to the station. This next step is a doozy.
I don't mind telling you, Skipper, I was scared silly when we planted that thermonuclear activator. What if it had gone off?
Nothing could happen unless we trigger it. And that doesn't occur until we're a safe distance out in space.
Then our job here is about finished, eh, Skipper?
As soon as I check our circuits, we'll bring our ship out of orbit and blast off.
Good. I'll prepare the landing pad while you're doing that.
Good grief.
Pistol?
It's the surveyor. Something's wrong. Look.
Why, it's being pulled out of orbit.
Look. It's falling towards the twin sun.
Quick, Taurus. Activate remote controls on the surveyor.
Aye, Skipper. Activated.
Engines on.
Facing mirror suns, Taurus.
Maybe we can blast her out.
Pressure up, lad. Fire when ready.
Stand by.
I can feel the heat from here.
I'm changing the orbit path. The surveyor will circle over us now.
Like orbiting the North Pole on Earth, eh, lad?
In a way. All set, gang?
Set.
Go ahead, lad.
Switching to ILS, Chris.
She's on the beam, Scott.
Okay, Taurus, looks good. Extend landing legs.
Roger, Skipper.
There she is, gang. Perfect touchdown. Good work.
I, for one, am sure glad to see that baby.
Okay, let's get out of here.
What about the shelter, Scott?
Leave it. There's no time to dismantle. Take a look back there.
Aye, lass, you wouldn't want to spend another night here, would you?
Taurus, reading.
She's not clear yet, Skipper. She's still struggling through the scrambled gravity belts.
As soon as we're clear, we'll change all that.
She's clear.
Flame out.
She's in free fall.
First, we'll activate the electrodes we planted back there. Get set, everybody. Here goes. From here, we've got a grandstand seat.
How much longer, Skipper?
Just a couple of seconds now.
It's working. Father was right.
A beautiful sight. An Earth being born right before our eyes.
This is fantastic. Look at that.
What a spot for an asparagus ranch. That has to be the place.
It looks like Earth in its formative stage.
Just think. In a few hundred years, there'll be cities down there. People working, a whole new life taking shape.
Aye, Skipper. But I sure hope we get back down there before then.
Why, Taurus?
Oh, soon those trout streams are going to be jumping, and I sure would like to do some fishing before those Sunday picnickers start to clutter them up. And so ends another exciting adventure with Scott McCloud, Space Angel.